welcome to the Target UPSC Prelims 2024 series, and in this segment we will be covering the MCQs with regard to the subject Science and Technology, and this will be the first episode of Science and Technology MCQs. So my name is Aisha and we will be doing the MCQ practice series now. So let's begin. So the first question is, which of the following is India's first privately developed rocket launched by ISRO recently? So it is a privately developed rocket. Skyroot, Prarambh, Bazoomk, Vikram S. So the correct answer for this question is option D, that is Vikram S. So Vikram S is a single stage suborbital launch vehicle. It is India's first. So it is India's first privately developed rocket and it is developed by the Skyroot Aerospace. So it is developed by the Skyroot Aerospace with support from the ISRO. So ISRO has provided its support and in space. Therefore, option D is the correct answer, which is Vikram S. Moving on to the next question. So the next question is talking about, consider the following statement. So there are two statements given. First, aluminium powder is used as a solid fuel for rocket engines. And second statement is, compared to liquid fuel propelled rocket engines, the thrust per amount of fuel burdened is higher in solid fuel propelled rocket engines. Which of the statement given above is or are correct? One only, two only, both one and two, neither one nor two. So the correct answer of this question is option A, which is one only. So let's talk about the explanation. So aluminium powder is a light silvery white to grey. So it is a light silvery white to grey odorless powder, and the powder has various usages like cosmetic colorant, fingerprint powder, pyrotechnics, refractory and rocket and missile fuel as the solid rocket boosters. Hence statement 1 becomes correct. And it is also highly flammable and creates a significant fire risk. The thrust per amount of fuel burned is higher in case of cryogenic engines, followed by liquid fuel and the solid fuel engines. So first is the cryogenic, then comes the liquid fuel, and in the end comes the solid fuel. So compared to liquid fuel propelled rocket engines, the thrust per amount of fuel burned is higher in solid fuel. So this becomes wrong. Therefore, option A is the correct answer, which is one only. Now, next question, and the question talks about, for the measurement estimation of which of the following are satellite images or remote sensing data used. So there are three statements and we have to talk about the correct answer using the code given below. First, chlorophyll content in the vegetation of a specific location. Second, greenhouse gas emissions from rice paddies of a specific location. Third, land surface temperature of a specific location. And the codes are 1 only, 2 and 3 only, 3 only, 1, 2 and 3. So the correct answer for this question is option D, which is 1, 2 and 3 only. So let's see the explanation now. Satellites use hyperspectral remote sensing, which is HRS. So that is hyperspectral remote sensing and imaging spectroscopy. Imaging spectroscopy is IS technologies to provide detailed spectral information from every pixel in an image. And HRS refers mostly to remote sensing, whereas the IS technology covers all spectral domains from microscopic to macroscopic. So the various uses of satellite images remote sensing data are, so now let's talk about the various usage. First is the estimation of water vapor aerosols in the atmosphere, estimation of chlorophyll, cellulose, canopy water content of terrestrial vegetation. So because of this, first option becomes correct. Second, estimation of mineral and soil types, land surface temperature. So land surface temperature also, this becomes correct. Greenhouse gas emission from fields. So greenhouse gas emissions from rice paddies of a specific location also becomes correct. So all three becomes correct. Therefore, the correct answer is option D, which is 1, 2 and 3. Now moving on to the next question. With reference to India's satellite launch vehicle, consider the following statements. There are three statements given. First is PSLVs launch the satellites useful for Earth resources monitoring, whereas GSLVs are designed mainly to launch communication satellites. Second, satellites launched by PSLV appear to remain permanently fixed in the same position in the sky as viewed from a particular location on Earth. Third, GSLV Mk3 is a 4-stage launch vehicle with the first and third stages using solid rocket motors and the second and fourth stages using liquid rocket motors. We have to talk about the correct statement. Codes are 1 only, 2 and 3 only, 1, 2 and 3 only, and then 3 only. So the correct answer for this question is option A, which is 1 only. So now let's see the explanation. PSLV is the Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle. So this is the PSLV is the third generation launch vehicle of India, and it is the first Indian launch vehicle to be equipped with liquid stage. So it is the first to be equipped with liquid stages. It is used mainly for delivering various satellites in low Earth orbits, particularly the Indian remote sensing series of satellites. It can take up to 1750 kg of payloads to sun synchronous polar orbits of 600 km altitude. Now let's talk about the first statement. So the GSLV is designed mainly to deliver the Indian National Satellite System or INSAT, which is a series of multi-purpose geostationary satellite. So geostationary satellite launched by ISRO to fulfill the needs of telecommunications, broadcasting, metallurgy and search and rescue operation. So the communication satellite aspect also becomes correct. It places satellites to the highly elliptical geosynchronous transfer orbit. Hence statement 1 becomes correct. And PSLV, as we talked about, it is useful for Earth resource monitoring. So first becomes correct. Now let's talk about the second statement. So the satellites in the geosynchronous orbits. So the satellites in the geosynchronous orbits to remain permanently fixed in the same position in the sky. Hence statement 2 is not correct. So statement 2 is not with regard to PSLV, it is with regard to the GSLVs. So second becomes correct, second becomes incorrect, first is correct. Now let's talk about the third statement. So GSLV Mk3 is a fourth generation launch vehicle. So it is a fourth generation. It is a fourth generation launch vehicle. The rocket has 3 stages. So it does not have 4 stages. It has 3 stages with 2 solid motor strap ones, a liquid propellant core stage and a cryogenic stage. So it does not have only liquid and solid engines. This consists of, and it has 2 solid, 1 liquid and 1 cryogenic. So this also becomes wrong, that it has first and third stage. It means 2 stages are solid and then the second and the fourth stages are liquid. So this becomes wrong because it is 3 stages and 2 is solid, 1 is liquid and 1 is cryogenic. So this becomes wrong. Therefore, the correct answer is option A, that is 1 only. Now coming to the next question. The terms event horizon, singularity, string theory and standard model are sometimes seen in the news in the context of. So these are 4 terms: event horizon, singularity, string theory and standard model. These are in the news in the context of A. Observation and understanding of the universe, B. Study of the polar and the lunar eclipse, C. Placing satellites in the orbit of the Earth, or D. Origin and evolution of living organisms on the Earth. So the correct answer of this question is option A, that is observation and understanding of the universe. So let's look at the explanation. So the Big Bang theory describes how the universe expanded. So it is the Big Bang theory which has described how the universe expanded from a very high density and high temperature state and offers a comprehensive explanation for the origin of the universe. Then scientists believe that black hole black represents the primary stage of Big Bang. So black hole represents the primary stage of Big Bang and would provide significant insights in cosmological orders. So in the center of a black hole is a gravitational singularity. So here comes the point of singularity. So in the center of a black hole is a gravitational singularity, a one-dimensional point which contains a huge mass in an infinitely small space. So huge mass in infinitely small space where density and gravity becomes infinite and space-time curves infinitely. So the boundary of the black hole from where no particle could escape is known as the event horizon. So imagine this is black hole and the boundary of the black hole. So this is the boundary of the black hole and the boundary from where no particle could escape. So the boundary from where no particle can go out, that boundary is known as the event horizon. So event horizon is done, singularity is done. Now comes the point that both standard model and string theory help us in understanding the particles involved in the black hole formation. So they are also involved with the black hole formation. Thereby, these altogether help us to uncover the universe. So the major aim is to uncover the universe. Therefore, the correct answer becomes option A, that is observation and understanding of the universe. Because event horizon, singularity, string theory and standard model all together are talking or is explaining us the observation and understanding of the universe. So the correct answer is option A. Now moving on to the next question. Which of the following statements is or are correct? So there are three statements. First is the gravitational waves were predicted by Albert Einstein in 1916 on the basis of his theory of general relativity. Second, gravitational waves also exist in the Newtonian theory of gravitation. Third, gravitational waves are to be detected by very sensitive detectors known as the interferometers. Select the correct answer using the codes given below. 1 only, 1 and 3 only, 2 and 3 only, 1, 2 and 3. So the correct answer of this question becomes option B, which is 1 and 3 only. So let's talk about the explanation now. So the gravitational waves. So if we talk about the gravitational waves, so the gravitational waves are the ripples in space-time caused by some of the most violent and energetic processes in the universe. So they are basically the ripples in the space-time. These waves squeeze and stretch anytime in their path as they pass by. And Albert Einstein predicted the existence of gravitational waves in the year 1916 in his general theory of relativity. Therefore, statement 1 becomes correct. So, gravitational waves, Albert Einstein, 1916, general theory of relativity. First is correct. These cosmic ripples would travel at the speed of light. So, the speed with which they travel is the speed of light. In 2015, scientists detected gravitational waves for the very first time. So, very first time it was detected in the year 2015. They used a very sensitive instrument called LIGO, L-I-G-O. That is Laser Interferometer Gravitational Wave Observatory. These first gravitational waves happened when two black holes crashed into one another. So gravitational waves are to be detected by very sensitive detectors known as interferometers. Therefore, statement 3 also becomes correct. Now let's talk about second statement. So as per the Newtonian law of gravitation, each body in the universe attracts every other body with a force which is directly proportional. So it is directly proportional to the product of their masses and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. So it does not talk or mention about the gravitational waves. So Newtonian theory does not talk about the gravitational wave. It was the Albert Einstein which talked about the general relativity or the gravitational waves. Therefore, statement 2 becomes wrong. So the correct answer is, first is correct, third is correct. So the correct answer becomes option B, that is 1 and 3 only. Now moving on to the next question. In which of the following activities are Indian remote sensing satellite used? So Indian remote sensing satellite are used in which of the following? So assessment of crop productivity, locating groundwater resources, mineral exploration, telecommunications and traffic studies. Select the correct answer using the code given below. 1, 2 and 3 only, 4 and 5 only, 1 and 2 only, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So the correct answer of this question becomes option A, which is 1, 2 and 3 only. That is assessment of crop productivity, locating groundwater resources and mineral exploration. So let's see the explanation now. So when we talk about the remote sensing usually refers to the technology of acquiring information about the Earth's surface. So acquiring information about the Earth surface, that is land and ocean and atmosphere. Earth surface and atmosphere using sensors on board airborne, that is aircraft, balloons or spaceborne also. Airborne and spaceborne. Definition of IRS. IRS is Indian Remote Sensing Missions based on specific thematic applications like natural resources monitoring, ocean and atmospheric studies and cartographic applications resulted in the realization of theme-based satellite series. And these are namely, first, land water resource applications. So first is land water resource application. Second is ocean atmospheric studies. Third is large scale mapping applications. So the land water resource applications, ocean atmospheric studies and large scale mapping applications. So first, second and third becomes correct, whereas communication satellites like INSAT is used for telecommunications, societal applications, weather forecasting and traffic studies. So these two are not done with regard to the Indian remote sensing. They are done with regard to the communication satellite like INSAT. So fourth and fifth is wrong. First, second and third is correct. That is assessment of crop productivity, locating groundwater resources and mineral exploration. That comes under the large scale mapping applications, ocean atmospheric studies and land water resource applications. Therefore, correct answer is option A, 1, 2 and 3 only. Moving on to the next question. We often find the term Goldilocks zone. Goldilocks zone in news. It is mentioned in the context of A. The identification of Earth-like planets in the universe, the use of wireless short distance communication, minimum distance required between Earth and any artificial satellite revolving around it, or D. None of the above. So the correct answer of this question is option A, which is the identification of Earth-like planets in the universe. So Goldilocks zone also known as the habitable zone. So it is also known as the habitable zone. It is an area around a star. So the area around a star where the surface of a planet like Earth is neither too cold and nor too hot. So the surface is neither too cold nor too hot for a liquid water to exist on a planet to support life. So this was about the Goldilocks zone. Therefore, the correct answer is option A, the identification of Earth-like planets in the universe. Now, moving on to next question. Which of the following is or are cited by the scientist as evidence or evidences for the continued expansion of universe? Continued expansion of universe, which is talking about that universe is expanding. Detection of microwaves in space. Second, observation of red shift phenomena in space. Third, movement of asteroids in space. Or fourth, occurrence of supernova explosions in space. Select the correct answer using the codes given below. 1 and 2 only, 2 only, 1, 3 and 4 only, or none of the above. Now let's talk about the explanation. And the correct answer of this question is option A, that is 1 and 2 only. One is detection of microwaves in space, and second is the observation of redshift phenomena in space. So movement of asteroids in space is wrong, and occurrence of supernova explosions is also wrong. So now let's talk about that Arno Penzias and Robert Wilson in 1963. So they both in 1963 found mysterious microwaves coming equally from all directions. Microwaves they found which were coming from all directions. So the radiation called the cosmic microwave background radiation was the radiation predicted years earlier by Gamow, Herman and Elfer. This convinced most astronomers that the Big Bang theory was correct and provided an evidential base for continued expansion of the universe. So detection of microwave in space is correct. Now coming on to the second point, Edwin Hubble. Now let's talk about the second point. So Edwin Hubble in the year 1929 measured the redshifts of a number of distant galaxies. On plotting redshift against relative distance, the redshift of distant galaxies increased as a linear function of their distance. Therefore, option 2 also becomes correct, that is observation of redshift phenomena in space. So this is also correct, redshift phenomena. Now let's talk about third and fourth options, and that is the movement of asteroid in space may provide information regarding the type of material in early universe, but as such no evidence regarding expanding universe is provided. So it talked about early universe, but it did not talk about the expansion of universe. Therefore third option is wrong. Now let's talk about the occurrence of supernova explosions in space. So the supernova explosions occurs when there is a change in the core or center of a star. So where there is a change in core center of a star, it happens in either binary star system or at the end of a single star's lifetime. It helps in studying the distribution of elements throughout the universe. So throughout the universe it talks about. However, it does not provide evidence for expanding universe. Expanding universe it is not talking about, it is talking about throughout the universe. Therefore option 4 is also not correct. So the correct answer becomes option A, that is 1 and 2 only. Now moving on to the next question, that is an artificial satellite orbiting around the earth does not fall down. So if an artificial satellite which is orbiting around the earth, imagine this is an earth and there is an artificial satellite which is orbiting around the earth, it does not fall down. This is so because the attraction of earth A does not exist at such distance, B is neutralized by the attraction of the moon, C provides the necessary speed for its steady motion, or D provides the necessary acceleration for its motion. So the correct answer of this question is option D, that is it provides the necessary acceleration for its motion. Now let's talk about the explanation. So an artificial satellite moving around the earth, so if this is an earth and an artificial satellite is moving around the earth in a circular orbit, it possesses an acceleration which is constant. So the acceleration is constant in magnitude but changing in direction. So it is constant in magnitude but it is changing in direction. An artificial satellite revolves around the earth under centripetal acceleration. So it is revolving around the earth. So if it is revolving around the earth, it is because of the centripetal acceleration. Immediately before the satellite is established in the predetermined orbit, the speed given to it is around 30,000 kilometers per hour. So this is the speed. This means that the speed which is provided by the rocket is the source of the centrifugal force. So the speed is the source of the centrifugal force. So it is the centrifugal force, and the attraction of the earth holds it from moving away due to this centrifugal force. So it is moving in because of the centripetal force and moving out because of the centrifugal force. Therefore, option D is the correct answer. That is, an artificial satellite orbiting around the earth does not fall down. So it is not falling down because it does not fall down. This is so because the attraction of earth provides the necessary acceleration for its motion, and this is because of the centripetal and the centrifugal force. Now moving on to the next question, and this is the practice question, and you people will give me the answer in the comment section. So the question talks about the technology known as electromagnetic airlift system. So the technology known as electromagnetic airlift system is sometimes talked about in reference to A. Launching guided missiles from silos, B. Launching aircraft from warships, C. Navigation of nuclear powered submarines, and D. Development of reusable rockets. Electromagnetic airlift system options: A. Launching guided missile from silos, launching aircraft from warship, navigation of nuclear powered submarine, and development of reusable rocket. So give me the answer in the comment section, and like I always say, till we meet next time, keep reading, keep writing, and keep subscribing to the channel. So thank you so much for watching.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.